During the 15 years that Sam and Dean Winchester went around saving people and hunting things in a 67 Chevy Impala and Supernatural, the series reduced its fandom to a messy puddle of tears. However, the show's second and final swan song cuts the deepest. Supernatural creator Eric Kripke's no angel policy came to a fiery halt with Castiel way back in Season 4. This particular trenchcoat-wearing angel spends just over a decade unlearning thousands of years of angel bias and brutality. Even from his first few lines, Castiel understands Dean like no one else has, not even Sam.
What's the matter? You don't think you deserve to be saved?
Despite Dean's bravado and snark, Castiel understands how Dean perceives himself as a destructive, angry, broken man, Daddy's blunt instrument. In the third to last episode, Despair, Cass finally tells Dean the truth when he sacrifices himself to the empty, a plane of non-existence where angels go when they die. Having made a deal in Season 14 that would send him to the empty the moment he experiences happiness, Castiel fulfills that pact while finally confessing his love for Dean Winchester.
Happiness isn't in the having. It's in just being.
Dean asks why the monologue sounds like a goodbye, and Cass confirms fans' longtime suspicions when he says 3 words.
I love you.
And those 3 words save the world. Cass leaves Dean with a bloody handprint, a mirror of the handprint scar left on Dean's shoulder when Castiel gripped him and raised him from perdition in Season 4. The gesture is one final corporeal mark of their profound bond. In a relationship that is as long, important, and formative to who a person or angel is, there's a moment when someone has to decide if they're going to allow the experience to break them or affect them positively. When Cass looks back at his time with Dean, he realizes that the hunter's true feelings about him don't matter. Castiel's confession isn't about Dean, it's about him finally getting in touch with his deepest human emotions. Cass accepts himself with no apology or fear of rejection, setting himself free. What was once a relationship built on subtext has turned into text, making it clear that Cass is in love with Dean Winchester.
Because the one thing I want, it's something I know I can't have.
Whether Dean feels the same is up for debate, but the angel's feelings on the matter are pretty explicit. There are plenty of platonic and familial love confessions in the show. This isn't one of them. So what happens when you try to bargain with a ruthless god named Chuck after he wipes out humanity Thanos style? Inherit the Earth essentially serves as the Season 15 finale, leaving one final episode to wrap up the series. Despite Dean and Sam bargaining to fulfill Chuck's perverted Cain and Abel fratricide fantasy to save humanity, God has once again become bored with his story. Dean is ready to give up when Jack feels the Archangel Michael. Years after abandoning their surprise half-brother Adam in hell, Sam asks Michael what happened to his once vessel.
And Adam?
Gone. I'm sorry to say. Exterminated by my father.
Neither Winchester seems to care all that much when Dean obligatorily responds with, "Poor bastard never caught a break." And it's kinda hard to catch a break when your brothers let you rot in hell for a decade, though. Lucifer has decimated the world, toyed with humanity, and jump-started the apocalypse. But impersonating a very dead Castiel to get into the bunker is his most blasphemous crime.
What's up?
Wow, way to treat a pal.
Satan may have thrown the biggest temper tantrum in the history of the universe when he rebelled, but all he ever wanted was Daddy's love. And that goes for Michael, too. Unlike Dean and Sam, however, Michael and Lucifer fall in line with Chuck's perverse plan, which allows the Winchesters to draw Chuck out. Ever the forgiving Lord depicted in the Bible, Chuck smites his favorite son for having ever sided with the Winchesters, even briefly. However, Chuck's deepest flaw is underestimating human resilience, especially when it comes to the Winchesters. Dean and Sam refuse to give up as Chuck mercilessly breaks their bones, staying in the fight long enough for Jack to show up to save the day. When Jack absorbs Chuck's powers, rendering him mortal, Chuck accepts his impending demise.
It's kind of glorious.
But the Winchesters don't give him what he wants. Instead, they leave him pitiful, wailing on the ground to age and die like a regular mortal. Cass tells Dean that the hunter changed him during his death scene, but the angel changed Dean too. After a lifetime of self-hatred, Castiel's admission finally convinces Dean that he's more than the ultimate killer.
See, that's not who I am.
While Dean isn't able to tell Cass he loves him back, whether he feels it romantically or not, he honors Cass's memory by finally loving himself. Castiel believes that everything Dean does is for love, and Dean is hell-bent on proving him right. The hunter finally acknowledges his self-worth and leaves Chuck to his powered-down, pathetic existence. Both brothers choose justice over revenge, finally moving past the motive that's driven their actions for 15 years. Talk about character growth. Castiel actor Misha Collins told a Creation Entertainment panel that it was the ending he'd always imagined for Cass, saying, "It felt like it was a little risky and a little brave for the show to do, and I was happy to be part of that and to be able to have Castiel express love like that. Those who seek power will never use it well. It was true for Chuck, and it would have been true for Billy/Death if Cass hadn't orchestrated her death through his sacrifice. But Jack has only ever wanted to do good and make his surrogate dads proud. And despite Castiel's earlier assurances that Jack doesn't need to live for anyone else, he accomplishes both. As it turns out, when you become God, it's time to leave the nest, spread those angel wings, and learn to fly. After Jack fixes the destruction Chuck brought to the world, he says goodbye to the boys.
I'll be in every drop of falling rain, every speck of dust that the wind blows.
The most crucial aspect of Jack's farewell is his restoration of free will. He promises not to insert himself in the story, and Dean appears to stop himself from asking about bringing Cass back before Jack declares that he's always as close as their hearts. Castiel and Jack may not be Winchesters by name, but they earned a place at the table, Dean and Sam having carved the pseudo-Winchesters' names alongside their own. Thanks to Jack and Cass, they're finally free to write their own stories, honoring everyone they lost along the way.
And I'm good with who I am. I'm good with who you are. Because our lives, they're ours.
Kripke notes that the Han Solo and Luke Skywalker vibe of Dean and Sam in this backroads Americana story is what makes the show work. The series starts with two brothers, and it has to end on that relationship. The Winchesters spend 15 years fighting for freedom, so what do they do when they get it? Sam pies Dean, and longtime Supernatural producer Robert Singer laughs in the background of the scene. Carry On, the final episode, opens on the appropriately named song Ordinary Life. Dean and Sam aren't the protagonists in some screwed-up cosmic story anymore. On their final hunt, they pose as agents Eric Kripke and Bob Singer, taking down a nest of vampires and saving two young brothers. Here, they set up a new generation of hunters, because Dean could never live an apple pie life and Sam wouldn't stop hunting until he did. But Dean and Sam Winchester are regular hunters now, and regular hunters die regular, gruesome deaths. When a vamp shoves Dean into a rebar, he fulfills the destiny of going down swinging. Not usually a man of many words, Dean ends up telling Sam all the things he's held back since they were kids. Mirroring Jack's goodbye, he tells Sam that he can always find him in his heart. He then makes reference to actor Jared Padalecki's mental health charity campaign, telling his brother to, quote, always keep fighting.
It's okay. You can go now.
Sam doesn't make a demon deal or ask Jack to bring his brother back. Instead, he gives Dean a hunter's funeral to the song Brothers in Arms by Dire Straits. Subtly referencing Dean's Bon Jovi Rocks on Occasion line from Season 3, a morning Sam finds Dean's cell ringing.
Hello?
Hi, Agent Bon Jovi?
This is Agent Bon Jovi.
After the hunt, Sam honors Dean by living the normal life he never could, and by naming his only son after his fallen brother. After generations of family heartache, Sam Winchester breaks the Winchester cycle of absent fathers and demon deals. Padalecki explained in a Creation Entertainment panel, Sam tried to live his life the way Dean would have wanted him to live his life. If Dean were to come back to life 20 years later and Sam was still hunting, I think Dean would have been pissed off. While we can't be sure if little Dean has taken up hunting, an elderly Sam seems surprised to see the matching pentagram tattoo he's sporting. Dean says the same words to his father that Sam said to his brother all those years ago.
It's okay.
You can go now.
Then, still wearing his brother's old watch, Sam dies peacefully. A heaven where souls live out their golden oldies on repeat for the rest of eternity would never be good enough for the Winchesters, who sacrificed everything to save the world. So while Jack promised not to intervene in human affairs, he does fix up heaven before Dean makes it to the pearly gates. Dean gets a life with his family in heaven that he never got on Earth. Everyone happy and together, all within reach of a pint at Harvell's Roadhouse. Giving Dean closure that his parents are more than a Cupid experiment gone wrong, John and Mary Winchester finally spend their afterlife together.
So Jack did all that. Well, Cass helped.
Dean decides to go for a drive while he waits for Sam to join him. Kansas's Carry On Wayward Son plays as Dean takes off in Baby's pilot iteration, fit with original license plate. On Earth, Sam can feel the heavenly connection to Dean when he grips the wheel of the real Impala. But time in heaven is different. The song's breath for Dean is a lifetime for Sam, after which they meet again on a bridge.
Hey, Sammy.
Dean?
The final touch? The boys' clothing almost matches their pilot wardrobe as the lyric, "Now my life's no longer empty, surely heaven waits for you," chimes in the background. Supernatural's on-screen send-off wasn't the original plan. Misha Collins noted, "In the original iteration of the ending, Cass hadn't gone to rebuild heaven. There was a different conclusion for him." While the actor didn't give specifics, he elaborated that Dean and Sam's heaven was supposed to be populated by their loved ones from the past, but COVID-19 prevented it from happening and, quote, "a new version had to emerge." In a way, the Winchesters already got their reunion scene in the show's 300th episode, Lebanon, and the unlikely photo from that family dinner remains on Sam's mantle for the rest of his days. Actress Samantha Smith explained, "I just remember thinking, that scene is perfect, this moment of happiness, of having the family all together. Even if it's for one dinner, we had never all four of us been in a scene together, yet it felt like we had been together the entire show." According to Padalecki, the script changes wound up being, quote, "a happy accident." The show started out with Sam and Dean. That was the show, and for it to end like that full circle was pretty magical storytelling. Still, Carry On might not be the end of Supernatural in its entirety. Dean actor Jensen Ackles revealed that a Supernatural spin-off would be his dream project to produce during his Warner Brothers deal. Additionally, Sam actor Jared Padalecki joked about a reunion in the future, so maybe there's hope yet. Regardless,
no doubt, endings are hard. But then again, nothing ever really ends, does it?
Supernatural lives on in the hearts of everyone the show touched. Whether it's through the actors' charity organizations or the bonds of found family, Supernatural isn't going anywhere anytime soon. But for fans who really want to envision their own ending for the Winchesters, Collins notes, "Even when the story is written, you can write your own ending." Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Looper videos about your favorite shows are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.